4, egg fountain. 3,
Haley, chair.
2,
Dominic, chair.
1. Thank you. Every student in this room needs to be in a chair at this time, Ms. Lawrence. Thank you. Remember, person, do me a favor, take that outside, and when you're done, join us again. Thank you. Without the dramatic, would be great. Thank you. Okay, for those of you, in case you have forgotten the policy we've had in place all year, any electronic, cell phones, DSs, any of those things need to be put away, turned off. Make sure they are where they need to be at this time. And then all of us, make sure we are going to be good audience members. If we ask you to move, you need to move as soon as we ask you to. So as long as you're being respectful, you can stay where you are. Okay? Thank you. In a moment, again, as always, we're going to start with music. Anyone who wants to come up and sing and dance with the band, you are welcome to do so. And everyone else, be respectful while we are doing that. And then our lesson will continue after that. I need Katie and Kaylee to join me up here at the front. I'll talk to you as soon as I'm on stage. Mr. Vera, let's go. You and Katie up here. Thank you. Mr. Nuan, you need to go get a Solid Rock shirt. Thank you. And then we are going to get started. And once Mr. Carl and Mr. Aaron come up to share our lesson, we are going to, who is it today? Oh, never mind. Shiloh's here today. She's going to share the lesson with us today, which is wonderful. I didn't know. And then I will dismiss as quickly as possible for us to get to our workshops. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
All right, before we start, need everybody on your feet. Real quick. Everybody up. That means everybody. That means you in the back too. Right there. Everybody on your feet. Yeah, I'm looking right at you. Stand up. Laura. Everybody together. Get out of the back. Come on. It's Mr. Eric's birthday tomorrow, so all of us together. Ready? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
hear the lyrics of this song. It says that he will leave the 99 in order to chase after the one. His love for you is fierce. And it doesn't matter what other people say, it doesn't matter what other people think. His love wants to touch you today. And if you were the only one in this room today, he would still be here. Because his presence is here. As we sing this bridge sing, just receive it because he's singing it to you. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you won't climb up, coming after you. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. I'm going to sing it in his position for a minute. There's no shadow I won't light up, mountain I won't climb up, coming after you. I pursue you. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie I won't tear down, they're coming after you. No, 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 no. There's no shadow I won't light up, mountain I won't climb up to come after you. There's no wall I won't kick down, lie I won't tear down, they're coming after you. My love is strong beyond. There's no shadow I won't light up, mountain I won't climb up, coming after you. There's no wall I won't kick down, lie I won't tear down, coming after you. And only overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love ride. Only chasing me down, finds till I'm not leaves the 99. And I couldn't earn it, I don't deserve it, still you give yourself away. Only overwhelming, never-ending, reckless love ride. Lord, we just receive that today. God, I know that I have run away from you at times, Lord. And I thought it was better to run. And I thought that my life could be better without you. But Lord, I know that I'm nothing without you. So Lord, today we lift our hands and we declare that, Lord, we need you in our lives. I need you in my life, God. Because when I run away, it's nothing good, God. I'm going to go down slippery slopes and I fall into pits that I was never created to fall into, God. So today we thank you for your love, Jesus. We thank you that you are a good, good Father. That your love is fierce and it's reckless. It chases us down when we don't deserve it. It fills us up when we are weak. Lord, even the hardest of hearts in this room, Lord God, I thank you that you're softening. That you're breaking down walls and that you're opening their eyes to the freedom that you can give them, God. You're a good God, and we thank you. We declare it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Since October, which if you count the months, it's not really very long, but it feels like we've been here. This is home. We've been striving to get here for so many, many years. But before we came here, and most of you out here remember, we were located at Highest Praise Church, is what we called it. Now it's called Trinity Church. And we were there for 9 years. And they hosted us, and they blessed us and helped us. Pastor Josh and youth pastor Shiloh, you saw them quite often walking around and helping us out, talking to us. And so today we have a very special guest, Youth Pastor Shiloh House.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing? So good. I'm so happy to be with you. Truth be told, I miss y'all a lot. It's really quiet at the church. It's because we don't have you hooligans running around. Yeah. So, who's excited that school is almost over? You guys have like 2 weeks left. You're like, oh, thank the Lord, I got to finish strong. It's going to be testy, but we can do it. This is hot. Watch out. Okay, so guys, this is a big deal for me. I'm so glad I get to be with you. So is it okay if we take a selfie first so I can commemorate this really awesome experience? Yeah, who likes selfies? Yes, everybody likes selfies. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a big old selfie. Everybody say, what's up, South Rock? Got it. I think half my face is in there, but it does the trick. It does the trick. So, as you guys can see, there's a really classy looking ketchup bottle up there with a mustache and a top hat. And his name is Mr. Ketchup. Yes. So, this week you guys have been talking about obedience. Is that right? How many of you are like, I have not been talking about obedience because I don't do that. Well, guess what? That's what we're talking about this morning, okay? And you're like, I don't understand how Mr. Ketchup has anything to do with obedience, but we're going to get there, and it's going to be good. So by show of hands, how many of your favorite thing to do is to be obedient? We're like, it fills my heart. I love to be obedient. It just makes me happy, and it makes me feel good. Yeah. There's only like 3 of you, and that's because you guys are really awesome and good children. But the rest of you have a little bit like a rebellious streak within you. And it's probably because we don't understand healthily what obedience is, right? We don't have a good understanding of what obedience is. So before we move on with anything, I want to make sure we have a universal understanding of what the word obedience means. Obedience is listening to and carrying out an order, request, or law underneath someone else's authority or leadership. That's kind of heavy. I know. And it's like, I really don't want to do what somebody else is telling me to do because that means I don't get to do what I want to do. And sometimes that's the truth. And it sucks. But it's something that we're supposed to do. So I'm going to need 2 volunteers. Can I get a high school volunteer? Yeah, all you people sitting in the back. Yes, sir. Come on. Thank you. Okay, I need an elementary school volunteer. You are not in elementary school. I need a little kid. A little kid. Yes, ma'am. Come on up. Okay, guys. Shh. I need you to pay attention. Sir, for the record, what is your name?
My name's Daryl.
Farrell. Nice. How old are you?
13.
Sweet. What is your name, young lady? Kelly. And how old are you?
12.
You are not 12. How old are you?
12.
You are not 12. How old is this young lady? You're 12? That's crazy. Guess what? When I was your age, I was 12 too. So, this is Mr. Ketchup. Oh, it's coming together. It's coming together. This is Mr. Ketchup. Okay. Mr. Ketchup is a really obedient dude. No, this is a bottle of water, but ketchup is in there. Okay. This is a really obedient packet of ketchup, Mr. Ketchup. Ask Mr. Ketchup to do something. Ask him to either go down, like he'll do it, just either to go down or to go up, okay?
Mr. Ketchup, go left.
Say it nicely.
Please go down. Please. Mr. Ketchup, maybe please go down.
Okay, let's try you. Say, Mr. Ketchup, will you please go down?
Mr. Ketchup, please come down.
Watch out now. Say something else.
I'm the best ketchup in the world.
Now it's good to do something else.
I am.
Do a flip.
Awesome.
can you do a handstand?
Ask it.
Mr. Ketchup, can you please come down?
Listen, I don't understand what's happening. Hey, listen, thank you so much for coming up as a token of appreciation for your volunteer work. I have 2 packets of ketchup. Sorry it's a little warm. It was in my pocket. There's your reward. Thank you. Give it up for Mr. Ketchup. Wonderful. So truth be told, before they came up, I had a conversation with Mr. Ketchup. And I was like, hey, Mr. Ketchup, I really only want you to listen to Kelly. Don't listen to anybody else. What? I did say that. And you know what? He listened to me. And so because Mr. Ketchup did what I asked him to do, what was he doing? Ooh, he was being obedient. Y'all are fast. So, here's a connection. This is sorry, I just apologize in advance. Here's the connection. Just like I appointed Kelly to be the one who was able to tell Mr. Ketchup what to do, we have people who are appointed over us in our life to be able to tell us what to do. Not for the sake of just being able to say, hey, do this because I think it's fun, but because they want what's best for us, right? So those people in our lives are generally called mom and dad, right? How many of you love your mom and dad? Yes, I love my mom and dad too. So, when we were born, God appointed our parents over us to guide us and to lead us and to keep us safe and instruct us so that way we can be productive members of society, right? Nobody wants to be a punk forever. It's not fun. And so when you go to school, your parents appoint your teachers to be over you and to have authority over you as well. So let's focus on the parents for a second. Check out this verse. Ephesians 6:1-3 says this. Children, do what your parents tell you. It's only right. Honor your father and mother is the first commandment that has a promise attached to it. Namely, so you will live well and have a long life. How many like the idea of a good long life? Yeah, living is good. We're all here because we're alive. So that's awesome. And having a good one is even better. Okay. So, how many of you realize that your choice to either act in obedience or not act in obedience tells something? What do you think it tells? It tells us that we honor somebody, that we respect somebody, that we love them, and that we appreciate, and we're willing to put our desires aside for a moment in order to show that for them. So, my grandma lived with me when I was growing up. My dad was away for a little while, and so my grandma kind of stepped in to help my mom take care of me. And it was just before summer, just like where you guys are. I was in middle school, and I was like a punk sometimes, you know what I mean? My grandma was like, wash the dishes, and I was like, no. I was like, tell me. So there was one day, I took dinner down to watch TV. I don't know about you guys, you might eat at the dinner table, but I was the kid who always ate dinner in front of the TV. And so, my grandma was like, take your dish upstairs and put it in the dishwasher. And I said, okay, Grandma, I'll do it after I watch my show. And so the show was over, and I was tired, and I was full. So what happened was I went upstairs to bed. Do you understand me? Where was my dish? It was still downstairs. Exactly. So, this proceeded to happen. The next day, Grandma said, take your dish upstairs and put it in the sink, in the dishwasher. And I was like, okay, Grandma, after I watch my show. Do you get the pattern that's happening here? This proceeded for 4 days, okay? And my grandma was like, if I have to tell you one more time to put your dish in the dishwasher, you are not going to like me. I don't know about y'all, but my grandma was a spanker. She would get anything that she could get and she would slap you with it. I was too big for that. So she said, don't make me tell you again, otherwise you won't like me. And I was like, okay, Grandma, I'll do it after my show. I went to bed. The dish was still downstairs. I woke up the next day, it was Friday, okay? I went to school. Everything was cool, right? I went back downstairs after school on Friday with my new dish of dinner, right? I noticed my old one was gone, and I was like, oh my goodness. My grandma put my dish in the dishwasher, and I don't even have to do it. No. This woman, she's What'd she say? She said, if you don't do it, you're not going to like me, right? She went to my room. She pulled back my bed covers, put my dish in my bed, not just my dish, but every dirty dish that was in the sink in my bed, and covered it back up with the covers. So when I went to my room to go to bed, I had a lot of dishes to do. And beyond that, she said, hey, guess what, Shiloh? Because you couldn't listen to me and obey me the first time, you're grounded for the whole summer. 3 months. All because of a dish. Can I encourage you, when your grandma or your mom or your dad asks you to put your dish in the sink or in the dishwasher, just do it. Learn from my experience, okay? Learn from my experience. What did I tell my grandma when I refused to obey her? I said, hey, Grandma, I think you're cool and all, but you're not worth respecting. I didn't say those words, but that's what my actions said, right? Yeah, it's pretty savage. And because I decided to make a poor decision and not be obedient to my grandma, I had some negative consequences that I had to work out. I had a little bit less fun of a summer than everybody else would have had, right? Listen, I love my grandma. Don't be looking at her like she's like savage. I listen to people now, trust me. It's good. It's good. It was a good lesson to learn. But I want to switch over a little bit. We're going to talk about 1 Thessalonians 5:12. This is going to be more in regards for your teachers. It says, and now, friends, we ask you to honor those leaders who work so hard for you, who have been given the responsibility of urging and guiding you along in your obedience. Overwhelm them with appreciation and love. How many of the teachers in here are like, yes, I received that. Please overwhelm me with love and appreciation. Students, listen to me when I hear this. You guys have a lot more power than you sometimes realize you have. Your choice to walk in obedience sometimes is the difference between a day made and a day crushed for your teachers. They spend countless hours, both inside and outside of the classroom, preparing so that you guys can be successful in your future. The least that you could do is not give them a bunch of flack when they ask you to do something, because ultimately it's for your good, right? I know you guys are like, whatever, but I want you to just follow with me here. If you're having a hard time feeling motivated to just do the simple task of being obedient, I want you to think about this. Where would I be if I were the teacher and I had a student acting like this? How would I feel? Would I feel frustrated? Would I feel annoyed?
No.
Would I be tempted to like not even care anymore? What about your parents? How would they feel? Or your grandma with the dish? I mean, you might feel like my grandma. My grandma for 3 months. No big deal. And I know that got serious really fast, but I wanted to say it because I wanted to drive home the point that your choice to walk in obedience has an impact in other people's lives as well. So let's switch gears for a minute. Who wants to talk about how they can be defiant? Oh, there it is. Everybody's rebellious streak. Everybody wants to have an excuse to be the bad kid, right? Yes. Okay. Listen up. Listen up. I did a Google search. Listen, this is scary. I did a Google search because what you discover when you type in something in Google is generally what is most searched on the internet. Right? You know how it pops up with like your first choices, and then you're like, why are teenagers so, and then it says, gives you like a whole bunch of answers. This tells us what our culture expects of teenagers and how they view teenagers. So I want you to listen to these. I typed in, why are teens? The first thing that came up, rebellious. I can tell because you all raised your hands when you're like, who wants to be rebellious? I do. It sounds fun. The next thing that showed up is, why are teenagers depressed? Why do they make false identities? Why are they so tired? Why are they so difficult? And why are they dangerous drivers? I would venture to say a lot of it is because you don't know how to obey a speed limit sign. Oh! Listen, do you remember how I said when I chose not to be obedient, I was telling things say this about teenagers. Teenagers are rebellious, reckless, they can't handle their emotion or their time, they're always frustrating. Ultimately, teenagers can't be trusted and they will fail. That's what Google says about you guys. I don't know if that's something to be proud of. I really don't. Listen, how many of you guys have ever felt like because you were a teenager or because you were young, people just made a snap judgment about you? Yeah, that's not fun. And the reason is because you guys were just proud about what Google said about you. So let's go back to Mr. Ketchup for a moment. Remember how I appointed this young lady right here to be the one who was in charge of Mr. Ketchup and who could successfully tell him what to do and he would obey? I also equally appointed the young man who came up to be the one that Mr. Ketchup did listen to. I gave Mr. Ketchup permission to be defiant to the expectations that the young man was putting on him. So if I'm going to encourage you guys to be defiant, let me encourage you to start with society's expectations of you. Because if we're being honest, they're really low. How many of you like proving somebody wrong? Every single hand. Somebody says, you can't do it, and you say, watch this, and you do it. Listen, can I encourage you that God is somebody who believes in young people? So much so that when he appointed leaders to rule nations in the Bible, they were kind of young. Listen to this verse. 1 Timothy 4:12 says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. High schoolers, you guys are driven by passion and excitement. When you get your mind set on something, you don't stop. You're like, listen, I'm not even going to shut up about this because I love it so much. And I want people to share in my passion and my excitement. Middle schoolers, you guys are constantly learning new things and you're encouraging those around you to reconsider what they know to be true about the world. You already have a base understanding, but you're learning more and you're hungry for it. Elementary schoolers, you guys just love life. Anything that you do, you have a big smile on your face. Wait, I saw you guys worshiping up here. You had the biggest smile on your face and you were just carefree. You're like, I love life. Don't let anybody look down on you because you are young, because ultimately you have something to offer. But just like Mr. Ketchup, you can't just do one side of the equation. If you want to change somebody's expectation of you, you have to respect the authority that's put over you. Because if all you're doing is being rebellious, guess what? You're just a troublemaker and nobody wants to listen to you when you have a good idea. On the other note, after being obedient and respecting those who have been put over you, you can say, hey, guess what, society? I know you have this expectation of me. And I know you expect me to fail. And I know that you think I'm not going to add up into anything because Google tells me that ultimately I'm going to fail and I can't do anything. But guess what? I'm choosing to be defiant to your expectation. I'm choosing to prove you wrong and be the difference that our culture needs. When I look at this group, I see a really powerful group of young people. I see some driven individuals. I see some who stick to their convictions, are excited about what they can learn, and are excited to move forward, setting an example. Who knows? There could be a future doctor in here who cures cancer. Maybe the next president. I don't know. Maybe a CEO of Fortune 500. Or maybe the best parents this world has ever seen and rediscovers what it means to be a good parent. I don't know. There's limitless potential in this room. But you have to make choices. And you have to make good choices. Whatever you choose to do, I want to encourage you to always obey those who are set over you because they are put there for a reason. Honor your mom and dad. The scripture says that that's what's right. I don't have to tell you guys that. You already know that it's good and it's right to honor your parents and to obey them, right? I don't have to tell you that it's right to listen to your teachers. You already know that. But this is is really why I want to encourage you. Start defining the expectations that the world has on you. Not the good ones. The ones that tell you that you're never going to be enough and that you're never going to add up. God is for young people, and He issues a challenge for them to be the example for the world. How many of you want to take up that challenge? Yeah? How many of you are like, I'm tired of people telling me I can't do it, I'm going to prove them wrong? That's right. That's right. Alright, so just remember, when you're faced with the difficulty of your will versus somebody else, and you're like, hey, I don't really want to do this, but you know what? Think of Mr. Ketchup. He had people who were appointed over him, and he chose to do the right thing. But he also chose not to do the wrong thing. Ultimately, we have to be like Mr. Ketchup, and we have to make good choices, right? So let me pray for you guys really quick. Father, I thank you so much for this opportunity to come to Solid Rock and to talk to these students about obedience. I thank you that you are for young people, and that you give them opportunities constantly to change the world around us and to set the example for what it means to be good and to love people well. I pray that you go with these students today when it may be difficult to be obedient, you give them the strength to do it because they love and they honor their teachers. And I pray that you help them to love and honor their parents as well. We ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Shiloh. Miss Vicky, you ready?
All right, good morning. Thank you, Pastor Shiloh. That was awesome. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to do our shout-outs, and we're going to recognize our students that have been exhibiting that character trait of obedience during the week. So at this time, I need every student in a chair. Every student in a chair. Every student in a chair. Thank you. And our first shout-out is from Miss Serena, to this student for always being obedient, following directions in the classroom, for Ms. Natalie Tenuous. From Dr. D, the student displayed the characteristic of obedience during the week, for Mr. Julian Tuttle. From Ms. Nina, the student is always obedient and a joy to teach, Ms. Mary Yessa. From Ms. Emily, the student is always ready to listen and follow directions with a smile on his face, Mr. Alex Perez. From Mr. Dan, the student always obeys, even more importantly, she does it with a smile. We should all emulate her. Cassidy Curtis. From Ms. Karen, the student is so good about following instructions, doing what he needs to do, going above and beyond. He's a great student and an awesome young man. For Mr. Trevor Reinhardt. And from Miss Leslie, we have a duo for Miss Leslie. She has these two young ladies exhibit obedience every day in my classroom. They are quick to follow directions, always try to do the right thing. I'm so proud of these two girls, for Aaliyah and Brianna Cacao.